Alright, so good old Florida again, home of Governor DeSantis and the hotbed for Trump supporters. In the last Florida video I did, we saw the US businesses blaming the hurricanes and the economy for the lack of tourists, which, let's be honest, is completely clueless and out of touch with the real issue. And it gets a little bit worse, because now we're seeing Florida businesses reply to Google reviews like this. No surprise here, but it really shows what Florida thinks about Canada. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, but there's plenty more info on this business floating around the social media. For today's video, I got 2 new reports out of Florida, plus a quick update from Las Vegas. It shouldn't be anything surprising, but it's still good to see. Today's backdrop comes from one of our Blue Sky viewers named AngelMom438. Thanks for sending this photo from Rotary Park in Calgary. And a quick shout out to our newest channel members since the last update. Your support really means a lot. At the start of this channel, my goal was to hit 3,000 subs. Never thought I'd have members supporting my channel too. Thanks for being part of this community. And just a heads up, my co-host is awake, so you're probably going to hear her throughout the video. All right, let's get into it.
I'm Laverne McGee, your Osceola County community correspondent. It's no secret that tourism drives the local economy, but some are concerned that Canadians aren't coming as much as they used to. Experience Kissimmee went up to Canada recently to invite them down. Behind all the tourists having fun at the theme parks are workers like Caleb Johnson. How important is tourists, for instance, coming from Canada to people's livelihood here?
Oh, it's very important. I mean, it's what helps pay my bills.
He's been a bus driver for about 7 years, helping tourists get around. But with all the talk of tariffs and border issues, he's worried about Canadians not coming to Kissimmee. And Caleb is not alone.
Well, that's how we make our livelihood.
Disney employee Ken Smith is one of the thousands of people here who benefit from tourism.
Okay, I get it. Lives are being affected by this boycott. We're paying for their salaries, and without Canadians going south, it's going to be a real struggle for people in the tourism industry. Sometimes I do catch myself feeling sorry for the ones that are caught in the crossfire, or those who might not have even voted for Trump. But here's the difficult thing for me. We don't actually know who voted for who, and that changes everything. So with that in mind, I can't give sympathy to anyone who supported Trump. And since I can't tell who voted for who, I'm going to instead choose to think about Canada only.
According to Experience Kissimmee, when people visit Osceola County, our entire community benefits. Tourism saves each household $4,400 in annual taxes.
Canada is our #1 international market.
D.T. Minich is the CEO and president of Experience Kissimmee, the corporation that markets Kissimmee and Osceola County all over the world. He just got back from Toronto, where he was promoting the area. Do people in Toronto know what Kissimmee is?
They do now. So I was up in Canada doing a lot of media interviews. You know, the Canadians, there's some resistance right now to travel to the US. I was up there just reassuring them that, we're Canadian friendly, we want their business.
Okay, let me translate this from American business media talk to reality. What they're really saying is, our tourism industry is collapsing and we desperately need the Canadian money. So I went up to Canada with an offer they couldn't resist. Discounts and deals work on Americans, so I'm sure they will work on Canadians too. That's how I translate it. This is exactly what bothers me about these US reports. Their audience isn't some random Canadian on YouTube, like me, who's going to rip apart their claims. Their audience is the average Floridian who probably voted for Trump, and they're just feeding them what they want to hear. I don't take joy in calling this guy out. Well, maybe a little bit. But the fact is, educated Canadians and our international allies watching too can see straight through this bullshit.
It's no secret Canadians have become skeptical. Between new tariffs and President Trump threatening to make Canada the 51st state, the relationship has become frayed. But overall, Minich says numbers are up. However, the telling sign will be this fall as the temperatures cool in the north.
So far, so good, but we're being very cautious.
I want Canadians and everyone of every nation to feel comfortable, to feel safe coming here, especially if they're spending their dollars.
Wow, this guy doesn't even hide it. He just wants our money. I give him credit for being honest though and upfront. But again, your country has a problem and Canadians are not going to fix your cash flow issue for you. Now, have you noticed a pattern in these reports? It's the same setup we saw in the last main video. First, they open up with tourism is in decline. Then comes the random excuse, the economy, hurricanes, the weather, blaming the Canadian food stamps. Maybe they'll throw in a suffering business owner or two. And then out of nowhere, they'll wrap it up saying, hey, things aren't that bad. I gotta say, I'm actually learning a lot by reviewing these. And the main takeaway is that they're all over the place. No wonder the average US citizen has no idea what's going outside their borders. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Year, the travel numbers statewide were actually on the decline, specifically with international travelers.
WEAR's Haley Samples joining us. And Haley, there were 18,000 fewer tourists in Pensacola this June compared to this time last year.
That's right, Bob, Sue. So if you've noticed more open space on the beach and less traffic around town, well, you would be spot on. But one business owner says it's not tourism that he's concerned with, but rather where people are spending their money when they come to Pensacola.
Water sports, fresh fish from the Gulf, and sugar-white sandy beaches. Now, those are just some of the perks that make the Gulf Coast the travel destination that it is. Kirk Newkirk of Key Sailing says people seem to be vacationing a little different these days.
We did better the summer of the BP oil spill than we're doing right now.
Newkirk.
Notice how U.S. business owners keep repeating the same thing. They're saying they did better during COVID, better after 9/11, better during the oil spill, and whatever other major catastrophe you can think of than they are right now. And honestly, it's kind of happy to hear that. Why? Because this time it's different. During those past major events, we always went back. We traveled to the US and we fueled their economy. But now, Canadians and our allies are boycotting. And it's having more of an impact than any of those past events these businesses can remember. And it's hurting them badly. So sir, do you want to know why your tourism did better during the oil spill? Because the oil spill didn't piss off the world with insults, unlike your president.
And his family have rented water sports equipment to tourists and locals alike for the last 51 years. He says the last 2 have been some of the hardest yet.
Oh, some days we'd be doing 100 Sea-Doo rentals. You know, this year we get excited about doing 50 in a day.
Newkirk says the drop in customers is costing his business hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he's not alone.
Going from 100 Sea-Doo rentals a day down to getting excited about 50, that's a massive loss in revenue. Now, not all of that is from international tourists, but if we be real about this, we make up a big portion of it. And that's exactly the domino effect that the MAGA crowd just doesn't get. No tourists means no money. No money means losing your job. Losing your job means potentially losing your house or your car. And it just keeps going. Yet we still get MAGA comments like these, short-sighted, clueless, and completely blind to what's happening. But hey, whatever floats your boat, man.
According to Visit Pensacola, tourism numbers were down nearly 6% in June compared to last year. Officials say numbers were higher for July and August. Newkirk suggests tourism isn't the issue.
People are coming in. People just aren't spending they're saving their money rather than, spending it.
Newkirk says during the summer months, majority of his customers travel in from neighboring states. But what about international travelers? A report from Visit Florida shows Canadian tourism is down about 3% statewide compared to last year.
They're claiming it's only a 3% drop in international tourism across the state. Do you really buy that? That just 3% is all it takes for businesses to start panicking like this? That 3% is what's making tourism officials beg Canadians to come back. Kind of like this woman here from Fort Lauderdale.
We recognize why those sentiments are where they are, and as I said, we respect them. But when you are ready to come back, and we hope that you will be ready to come back, we will be here with open arms and open hearts, and ready to embrace you, because you're going to find us the same people that were here before you decided not to travel.
Now, does this really sound like she's begging Canadians for just a 3% drop in international tourism? Because the way she's pleading and pushing for Canadians to return, it doesn't line up with that number at all. To me, this kind of desperation suggests that a bigger chunk of Canadians are missing from Florida. And if you look at how heavily Florida relies on Canadian tourism dollars, it makes sense why they downplay the real number.
Staff at several restaurants along Pensacola Beach didn't want to talk to me on camera, but they say they too have felt the effects of a slower summer. They tell me servers are making less money in tips, and they're relying on a winter crowd to stay afloat.
Well, man, I had to jump in here again. They're putting all of their hope on the winter season, and they have no idea what's coming. Canadian snowbirds have been quietly selling off their homes all across the US, in Florida, Arizona, California, and pretty much every other sun destination. So if the plan is to lean on winter tourism, they're in for a world of pain. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait for the first winter report to drop from Fox News stating, the snowbirds never returned, and we just can't figure out why.
But while they say the summer slump isn't reassuring, they are hopeful, as is Congressman Jimmy Patronis.
Well, what's different about Northwest Florida? We were the first to rebound after COVID. We'll be the first rebound after any type of economic crisis that affects the household budget.
And Newkirk tells me there is a chance he may have to cut overhead if business doesn't boom sometime in the future.
So did you hear that, Congressman? All he was doing was telling Florida viewers exactly what they wanted to hear. But here's the reality. You can't compare what's happening in 2025 to COVID, because this time you're not going to bounce back. The virus sitting in the White House right now has done permanent damage, and there's no vaccine that can fix that. So to everyone in Florida who voted for Trump, good luck with your next winter season. And I think the categories too. Now let's move across the US to Las Vegas. And for once, they're actually admitting the lack of international tourists. Let's take a look.
Tourism is down across the U.S. due in part to a drop in international tourism, and Las Vegas is feeling the effects.
International travel is way down. People are not coming to the United States. We have a rather large market with the Canadians. It's gone from, a faucet to a drip. Same thing in Mexico. We have a number of very high rollers that come in from Mexico that aren't so keen on coming in right now. Also, the economy is constricting and people are a little more wary of spending their disposable dollars when there's tremendous uncertainty in the economy.
The city saw a drop of 11% this June compared to the same time last year.
Okay, I'm not going to harp on the numbers here, because we all know, and we're also raising an eyebrow to them anyways. But what I do want to point out is that finally, a government official is admitting the obvious. They're acknowledging the lack of international visitors is hurting the Las Vegas economy. A few videos ago, I showed a report where the MGM CEO admitted that losing Canadian tourists was hurting their bottom line. And now, the mayor of Las Vegas is finally saying it too. She's admitting that the boycott from Canadians and Mexicans is hitting the city hard. I guess that counts as progress?
COVID ended and business went way, way up because everybody was tired of being cooped up. They got out of their house, they had COVID money, and they just spent like crazy. Since then, it's been gradually moving down a little bit, but that's to be expected. We've been in it a long time, we're used to it, and we just figure whatever happens next is going to happen next.
While the numbers are down, tourists on the Strip say things are still busy in Sin City.
COVID was too long, so we just decided we may as well. Life's too short. But it's been really good, so it has. It's very busy. So it has been everywhere that we've gone and really, really hot.
The Nevada Culinary Workers Union said some of their members have seen a 10 to 20% drop in their tips.
We need heads and beds in Southern Nevada. We need people enjoying the amenities that Las Vegas has to offer. And when there's less people, there's less tips.
Less tips. Yeah, sad. Anyways, this feels like the start of a slow motion train wreck. And the people on board have no idea what's about to hit them. But as Canadians, and to our international viewers as well, this is not our problem. It's not our responsibility to fix what's happening in the US. After all, their president did say they didn't need anything from Canada. I'm trying to finish this up as quickly as I can. So we're taking that seriously. So what's the takeaway from these reports? Florida is still in denial about how... Hey! Florida is still in denial about how important international tourists are to them. And Las Vegas is finally admitting, okay, Canada and Mexico, they actually did matter. Now, it's too late, because many of us, for the foreseeable future, will no longer be supporting their economy. So I'm going to close this video with this reminder. As long as I'm making these videos and these kind of reports, we know our efforts are still working. Holy, okay. I'm almost done. I have to ask, anyone watching this, is your cat ever this loud? Let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and it helps to get the message out to more people. And don't forget to share it with your friends too. And if you're still here and you want to see more of my videos, check out the other ones that are showing up on your screen now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.